Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Be Inspired. Today we are joined by a very special guest, Mrs. Elizabeth Crabtree. She was my high school theater director and somebody who has really made a huge difference in my life. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
So, the first question that I kind of have for you is how did you first discover like the arts as a part of your life and what inspired you to kind of start doing them?
Well, my background is in music. Both of my parents are music teachers, and two of their parents, no, three of my four grandparents are also musicians and music teachers. So it's in our blood. It's the family business, as it were. Um, but yeah, both of my parents are music teachers. My father's been a high school band director for 38 years, I believe. My mother was a middle school choir director for, I don't know, 8 years or so before she decided to become a stay-at-home mom. And my sister is a choir director and jazz band director in DC public schools. My brother played piano and played trumpet and sang. And so we just nerd out music style together as a family. Christmas caroling is in five parts, of course, is just how we do in our family. And I thought that was normal growing up. And then I went to college and they were like, that's not normal at all. Um, but we would always have on music in the house, or my mother was huge into musical theater, and that was kind of my foray into that. And we would just watch musicals all the time, or at least as much as my father would let, because my dad despises musical theater. Um, so when he was around, we had a 30-minute timer on our musicals. So I remember watching Oklahoma 30 minutes at a time. Next day, watch another 30 minutes, and that was as much as he could handle. So,
That is awesome. It's really been in your blood for a long time, I can see. And then what's kind of kept like obviously it's a bit of a crazy field sometimes.
all
And
the time.
yes, all the time, yes. And I was just our next my next question is just kind of what's kept you inspired to keep going, like even when things get tricky.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm an optimist. Maybe I hope that I think I am. I don't know. Um, but I mean, hope springs eternal, and you just always have to know that there's something coming up that's great. One of my dad's pieces of advice, life advice, as parents often do, pass on to their kids, is always have something to look forward to, even if it's something small and silly, but always have something to look forward to. So that's something for me occasionally, or, sometimes in the theater would be, I am so looking forward to having the tickets be done and ready to sell, or I'm so excited to see these flyers come out, or I'm excited to finish choreography rehearsals, or do you know what I mean? I think if you plan out the steps along the way, there's comfort for me in that. I'm a huge planner, and just finding stability in routine, because the arts, it's so unpredictable and you just have to be able to roll with the punches. um, so I try and find stability in routine that kind of keeps me grounded for when, whatever inevitability happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that is definitely a very good point. I agree with that for sure. That it's always important to have hope, no matter kind of what comes your way, because it'll help you get through just about anything.
Oh yeah.
So obviously, I knew you from like a teaching standpoint, and I was just wondering, like in your time in the arts, how have you seen it be like an inspiration and a force for good in like the lives of others and like making a difference in the lives of people around you?
Oh, I mean, I think that everyone in some capacity, like every human being on this planet, finds comfort or some kind of therapy through some kind of music, whether that music is Gregorian chant or 80s metal rock, or do you know what, everything in between. Um, I think everybody finds comfort or at least emotional expression through that. And I think that some people, or sometimes people, discount the nature of identifying your inner, I don't want to say feelings, but you know what I mean? Recognizing what is happening inside, and being able to identify and pinpoint that, and then find the match, either the cure or the, whatever would help make it better or keep that happiness going. Um, so I think that whether it's through music or through theater, there's a sense of escapism, which I love. And it's not that I feel the need to escape my life, because I love my life. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's hard days and good days, obviously, as everyone has. But I think that it's a good thing to escape into a different world sometimes. And some people do that through books, some people do that through theater, some people do that through music. I mean, through dance, there's all kinds of different arts that allow that to happen. But I think that leaning into that instead of shying away from that has been helpful, at least in my own life. And I try and kind of preach that gospel that, like, we are here as performers to provide that service to other people. That is, like, yes, that's helpful for us as performers to find that escape in that other world selfishly. That's important for us, I think, as performers and as people in the arts, whether that's in a directorial standpoint or tech or crew or performing. But I think that if we keep in mind our service to our audience, that's what drives us, I think, at least for me, because we all want to share our gifts, all of us, whether that's through lighting or acting or singing or dancing or painting. We all just want to share our gifts and be appreciated and find that validation through that. So um, I think just sharing and being appreciated, and yeah, finding solace through other people and through escapism, if that makes any sense at all.
Well, that totally does make sense. And I totally agree with that, like the service that us doing the arts can have for an audience member. Because I remember my sophomore year when we all went and saw Something Rotten up at Playhouse Square. And that was like the first professional show I had ever seen. And just like seeing those people on that stage just like truly blew me away.
Right? It's like mind-blowing moment when you see that for your first time, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Life-changing.
Yeah.
What a show, too. What a great show.
Right? Yeah, like I remember after a musical song, the audience, yeah, like that was.
That's a great. I love that one.
And my final question for you is just like if you had one piece of advice that you could give somebody first starting out on their journey in the arts, or one piece of advice that you would have given yourself when you first kind of that you wish you would have known. I know it's kind of like a big, broad question, but
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's tough. I don't know. I mean, I guess, I mean, I already said make sure you have something to look forward to, because I think that's just important in life. But pertaining specifically to the arts, for someone starting on their own artistic journey, I think you just have to have a balance between confidence in yourself and your own intuition, but finding a balance between your confidence and being coachable and being able to take input and critique. I think that is golden, I think. Um, and that's hard for everybody, finding a balance between, no, I know this is right in my soul and I'm going to stick to my guns, or okay, I never thought of it that way. I can try it that way. So, I mean, it's a back and forth between the two, really. And then advice I wish I could give to myself. Um, I don't know. And honestly, I have a whole lot of imposter syndrome when it comes to the theater. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a musician in the theater. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I think just trusting yourself. I think, yeah, I think just telling myself like trust yourself and it will be okay.
Yeah.
Because that was the first couple shows were really hard. Really hard. Um, okay, all the shows are really, really hard. Let's be honest. Let's be real. But um, but I mean, I would second guess myself and go back and forth, and I don't know if they were the right choices, and I'll never know if they were the right choices. But in that moment, in that time, and in that place, I think for the most part, I made the right choices for those people. I think. I hope. I mean, that's all we can do, right? Is hope.
Yeah.
We did it right. I don't know.
No, yeah, that is definitely, I think those are very great pieces of advice for sure. And I know, at least within my experiences with you when I was a student at Northwestern, the shows that you picked and the opportunities you gave us were all definitely great ones. And
Oh, you're
I
very
know,
nice.
and I know all of the friends and memories I made, all of them agree with that as well.
Oh, well, that's that's the goal, right? Is that I mean, yes, I want people to know content, and yes, I want people to know the art itself and the technique and all that other things, but let's face it, at the end of the day, it's the impact we have on other people and it's the relationships we have with other humans in this world. Like if we're thinking really big picture here, it's about our relationship with the art and it's about our relationship with other people that matters. So, I mean, maybe I taught things wrong, maybe I didn't. I don't know. But if I can foster a good relationship with theater and help other people just be better people, then that's frankly my priority.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know. I'm making this stuff up, Ben. I don't.
Well, that was my last question. Thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. I
It
really,
is
really appreciate your input.
my pleasure. I am honored. Thank you.
And thank you all for tuning into our podcast today. We will see you all next time. Have a great rest of your day.
And introduce yourself. My name is Michael with a B, and I've been afraid of insects my entire life. Stop. Where? Where's the bee? There's a bee?